Hey, friends. I want to talk to you about therapy, specifically not telling you that you should go to therapy, but more so what my experience of it is. Not necessarily was, because I'm still doing it, but specifically a certain type of therapy that I went through not too long ago. And I just want to take a few minutes just to talk about it. So I went through accelerated resolution therapy not too long ago, and it's pretty awesome. So accelerated resolution therapy, or AKA ART, is a form of therapy that helps you not only unpack your traumas, but also your emotions. Basically, it helps you identify the trauma, the emotions associated with that trauma, where in particular it's located, in your body, and really just come to terms with it and move past it. So, say you're afraid of dogs or something like that. And let's say because you're afraid of dogs, every time you see a dog, let's say you get goosebumps, but not just goosebumps everywhere, but let's say in your shoulder, on the back of your shoulder specifically, or you get tightness in the chest, or wherever this trauma sort of, pinpoints. What accelerated resolution therapy or art therapy sort of is, especially how it was explained to me as I was going to it. And again, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a client who went through it. And after processing it, I'm super I'm for it. And I'm a skeptical person by nature. So it wasn't like I went in there with the most open mind in the beginning, but I got to tell you that it really did help me process some emotions and traumatic experiences. So the short of it is, during these sessions, you're sort of not really in a meditative state. I mean, if that's the way I can describe it, sure. But essentially is we're not put into this state. You work to get into that state, to truly focus in on this trauma. Say, again, this dog that bit you, you essentially are confronting that pain in a way. And by doing so, it's weird. It's like you're interacting with, well, I should say my version of it is you're interacting with yourself at the time you were bitten by this dog. And you're going through all the ways you could have changed it, all the ways that it couldn't have changed. Like, you're really feeling it. You're not running away from it, because the further you run away, the harder it's going to be. It'll always be with you. And that's the thing. You're not exercising it. You're sort of pinpointing it and focusing the emotions into a more positive way. So essentially, if we go with the dog example, is you go back to that time where that dog that bit you, and you just focus in on that time. And say that happened to you at 12 years old, and you're looking at your 12-year-old self, and you just, you pinpoint where that pain is to your 12-year-old self, and you just sort of, in a way, share that pain together. And then, as I've gone through more sessions, you sort of keep processing that image and that time over and over and over again in all the ways, until that trauma no longer has that hold on you like it once did. It's very interesting. It's not even like hypnosis or anything like that. It's just really just in this quiet moment, going through it. And I would always suggest going with a licensed, accelerated resolution therapist on your own to work with you. Mine was amazing, or is amazing. But it really helps, because then you don't think about that trauma anymore. I mean, you think about it, but it doesn't feel how it feels. And it's not like you're trying to hold on to it. And you realize that's what you've always done when it comes to trauma. You just keep holding on to it because you don't know anything else. It's like, I have to keep holding on to this trauma. It is the only way I can move forward. It's the only way people can understand me. And that's the issue. You're waiting for people to try and understand you. It's not their job to understand you. odds are they never will, no matter who they are, your friends, your family, your spouse, your cat, your dog, your imaginary pen pal, no, that's not their job. So going through the therapy, it was so cool because in my version of the therapy, everyone's different, but in mine, there was this bridge. And essentially, I'm walking across this bridge with my younger self, like my, I would say, I don't want to say middle age, but different stages of me. And we're all walking across that bridge. And I'm like guiding each version of me to that other side, processing the traumas and, the different things I've gone through growing up and just in adulthood and life is just going through that grief, going through that anger, going through that love, going through all of it. You just sort of process it. And in a way, when you think about it, you even repaint that picture. So again, that dog that bit you, in this new version, that dog maybe didn't bite you. Or if it did bite you, it bit you to get you away from a bigger monster. Like whatever your new painting is, that is what you focus on. So for me, when I think back to one of the traumas I was, focusing on, I honestly, when I close my eyes and think about it, I don't see the old version of events. I see the new version. And it's not being delusional. I know that it happened. But what I do know is that I don't have to think about it in that way. No one's forcing me. Like the little child version of yourself that's begging to be listened to wants you to get over it. Your future self wants you to get over it. Your present self needs to get over it. And not get over it in a harsh way, but literally just get over that bridge and move on to the next trauma because there will be more. But I think specifically for me with going through more of that art therapy, and even then just not even going through it, but just sitting with it and processing trauma as they come, I have the tools to do it. And I think that's what therapy is. So like, if you're going to therapy, keep going until you feel, honestly, that's like you feel like it doesn't suit you anymore. But just know that it is very awesome to do it. I can't think of any other way to say it. But yeah, this accelerated resolution therapy, I highly recommend. And this isn't some paid ad recommending it. This is just my honest thoughts on it. And it truly did help me and continues to do so. And I encourage everyone just to try different things. But if you have the time and if you seek one, a licensed practitioner of this service out, do so. I mean, it's really strange. I'm, again, skeptical by nature, but having done it enough, I'm like, wow, okay. It really shows that all this is in here. Like I recently watched those Smile movies 1 and 2, and it's all about trauma, and but there's something really spoke to me about those movies of like confronting that trauma. Like, go ahead and do it. Like, what are you doing if you're not trying to confront it? There's 1,000 things you could be doing, but you should do that first. Confront your trauma, look it in its eye, say, what up? I'm here. Let's talk about it. Because if you don't, it could really hurt you. And that's all. That's all I got to say about that.